when we say an inclusive government, we recognize, and everyone recognizes, even the Taliban would recognize, that Afghanistan is a multi-ethnic group. Pashtun are around about 50% of the population. Then there's a big Tajik minority. Then there are Uzbeks. Then there are Hazaras and other smaller minorities. So, an inclusive government means a stable Afghanistan. So people who are interested in the welfare of the people of Afghanistan, who've been through 40 years of conflict. So anyone who feels, wishes them well, would want a stable Afghanistan, and a stable Afghanistan means, let me clarify. Number one, as a well-wisher of Afghanistan, we would want them to be stable and have an inclusive government. Now, what sort of inclusive government should not be dictated to the Taliban government? Because that is interference. If you say, pick so-and-so and so-and-so and take names that you must include them, that is interfering in their internal affairs. And I would imagine that they would resist that. Because remember, Afghans are independent-minded people. There's no, the idea that anyone can control them from outside, whether it is the US or it is Pakistan, it is a fantasy. It cannot happen because that's their history. So we can just, as well-wishers, suggest that there should be inclusive government, which they too agree. What should not happen is, they should be dictated that, look, includes A, B, and C, and that would be interference. Look, again, people don't understand the Afghan character. You cannot control people of Afghanistan. And history as a guide, I mean, look at the history of Afghanistan and say, look at the history of the whole of India. You had one battle, and whoever won the battle controlled India. Afghanistan was never like that. As I repeat, it is a decentralized, democratic system. They are very democratic people. It's not a feudal system as it was in India, which is why it was easier to control India. And because the tribes, the Pashtun tribes, which are half of Afghanistan, and twice as many Pashtuns on this side, they resisted the British exactly for 80 years. The British controlled the whole of India, but the Pashtun areas, the tribal areas, there was resistance throughout the 80 years of British interaction with them. So therefore, Afghanistan cannot be controlled from outside. It is a very difficult situation which they are in. Anyone who takes power after 20 years of fighting, civil war, people think they have given a lot of sacrifices. So now to come into power and then even dealing with your own people, forget about including other people who were not part of the struggle. Even dealing with your own people, I would imagine, is a pretty difficult situation right now for Afghanistan, for the Taliban government. So therefore, if you're asking me what will happen, I don't know what will happen. I pray, that's all we can do. We pray that after 40 years, the people of Afghanistan would have peace and stability. But I don't know what will happen.